SVSN. I'm your host, Luke Nichols.
And I'm Gracie Smith. And Caleb, he's a little under the weather, so we're going to have to carry on without him. But that's okay. We'll make do.
Gracie, what is this week?
It's Spirit Week here at PHS, and today is Camo Day. That's why Luke looks like he does. Technically, you can't see Caleb. He's wearing camo. It's okay.
So let's jump into it. Let's go out to Gail and Ashley with a story over girls golf.
See you in a few.
So today we're here with Gracie Smith, Piketon High School's only girls golfer. How do you feel your Division II sectionals went?
I've had better days, but overall it was a great day, and I learned a lot from it.
How do you feel you did as an individual?
As an individual, well, I'm the only person on the team, so it's an individual sport every day. But I don't know. I didn't really do the best of my ability. I got frustrated a lot, but in the end, I've learned a lot over my years, and it was a great experience.
How do you prepare for a match when you go to a golf tournament?
Well, normally I ride up with my coach, Craig and Moore, and I sleep on the way there. It gets me and listen to music, and it gets me in my mental focus. and, and then when I get there, I practice on the putting greens and go to the driving range and hit some balls and see what's working and what's not.
How long have you played golf?
I've played 3 years, and it's been good. I like going out and working with my dad on some things. He helps me a lot. He also criticizes me a lot, but it's okay.
Have you lost all 3 years?
Yes. I haven't lost, but
We're just playing, right?
I haven't lost, but I've
not did your best.
yeah, I proceeded to do better over the years, and that's all that matters.
Yes, you're right. Absolutely. Anything else? Back to you guys.
Thank you, Gail and Ashley, for that story on girls golf with our very own Gracie Smith.
Luke, did you also know that the boys won sectionals, the golf team?
I did.
Good job, boys. And now, for our next story, we're going to send it out to Corey and Phoenix over the History Club. Out to you guys.
Alright, thank you guys. And today we are here with the one and only Jared Williams. He is a teacher at Piketon High School and the leader of the History Club. So, Jared, we have some questions for you today. So,
All right, bring them on.
When is History Club?
Well, History Club will usually meet on Wednesdays during Rise. We'll have some after-school meetings. Maybe if we can work it out, even a little field trip. But we will primarily be Wednesdays at Rise in my room, kind of digging into some of the historical concepts that we don't have time for in class.
How long does History Club usually last?
Well, most of the time it'll be just a Rise period. Now, there will be some times that it goes after school. Maybe for an hour after school. Depends on how deep we get into the history. And there's a lot of history to dig into, as you guys know.
Oh, yes. However long the Earth's been around.
Well, we'll just say history began in 1776, but we won't go into that right now. We won't go into that.
What about the part of the war before 1776 that started in 1775?
Well, we hadn't declared independence yet, so we were fighting for our British rights. So that's important, but we'll get to that later.
All right, so Phoenix, you have any questions for him?
Yeah, I've got a few. Okay.
We might be here a while.
Okay. So, what parts of history are you going to be reviewing, since it's History Club and not American History Club?
Well, we will be primarily focusing on World War II this year. And yes, we will be looking at the American side of World War II, but it's impossible to do World War II without talking about the beginning of the war in Europe and how the war was going in Asia and the Pacific and the Atlantic. So it will be talking about the world at large. But, being Americans, we will be focusing upon the American part of the war, but can't separate it from the larger part of the global conflict.
All right. I honestly find the more Oriental sides of history a lot more interesting because you never really get their perspective from our Western views. So, how are you expecting to incorporate that into your History Club?
Well, one thing that we are planning on doing is watching the movie Tora, 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 which does tell both sides. It tells the Japanese side to the build-up of the battle in Pearl Harbor. It tells the American side. Of course, we'll be looking into some different battles that happened in the Pacific, and of course, we'll have to look at the Japanese battle plans too, because we're going to make some little miniature battlefields. That's one thing we're going to do, and we got to know what the Japanese were thinking and how they were positioning their troops. So we will have to study their mindset.
All right, that's really cool. How about looking onto the future of the club, like next year? What are y'all going to be doing next year?
Well, there's always an interest in World War II, always. And anytime that we come upon a big anniversary of something, there'll be anniversaries to talk about. In the past, we've done anniversaries for the assassination of President Kennedy. We've done anniversaries of the fall of the Berlin Wall. So anything where there's a big anniversary. Of course, we'll also, in the future, you want to take a good look at Vietnam, Korea, these wars that sometimes are very, very, very complex in history, don't always get a lot of, airtime. So we want to make sure that we give them a closer, more in-depth view.
Okay, how about the parts of the time before America? Are you going to be reviewing that at all?
This is an American history club, so no.
You might want to consider a rename then.
I teach American history.
But it's a history club.
So I'm kind of confused by the question, but...
All right.
I think you should just stop talking, Phoenix. I think you should. I think you've asked like 4 to 5 questions. Our limits too.
Here we go. We'll put it this way. I have a degree in American history, so therefore I feel that I am only qualified to give advice and lessons upon American history. But we have some very wonderful teachers in this school building who teach the ancient history, and I'm sure that they are experts in that field. No, they are experts in that field. They definitely are.
We don't have any teachers here who do medieval history and stuff like that, do we?
I believe Mrs. Pfeiffer covers that in 7th grade.
She does.
Not very in-depth, though.
Yeah.
For 7th grade.
I had legs, so I don't know.
Yeah. So I believe Mrs. Pfeiffer does that and does a wonderful job with it.
I'd like to hear about it someday. Okay.
Well,
back to you guys.
Thank you, Jay, Will, and back to you guys.
Back to you guys again.
Thank you, Corey and Phoenix, for that wonderful story over the History Club. Another announcement. Students that are going on the Europe trip are selling t-shirts. Contact the English department if you would like to purchase one.
So, on to our next story. We're going out to football with Tanner and Tanner for TNT. Out to you guys.
We have Connor Galloway here. Connor, what happened last week against Southeastern?
Tater Beach wouldn't catch the ball.
Oh my god. Don't even get me started on that.
Oh, okay. Tanner?
Well, what are you guys planning to do to help Tanner on the offensive side to catch the ball?
Just take him out of the game.
Well. What's the defense plan against Adina?
I don't play defense.
Oh, well, that makes sense. And then I got one question. You've recently had an injury with Blake Reeder. Will he be back?
No.
Oh, that's bad. Okay, right, back to you guys.
Thank you, Tanner and Tanner, for that story on football.
And that concludes our broadcast for this week.
To all you out in the valley,
Keep it classy.
And as always, it is a great day to be a Piketon Red Streak.
It's okay if we attack North Korea.
Oh, my nose.
They can't do anything bad to us. We control the world. Ah!